Hello, can you hear me? All right, welcome videographers to our first meeting session. Don't worry about logging in just yet. Before we do some group activities, I wanted to tell you about what I like about video. Video is a very powerful tool for communicating, entertaining, and learning. But as I mentioned in my intro video, the big question I want you to ask yourself during this class is, how can I use professional techniques to help create effective and engaging video for learning? For example, if I wanted to let you know about methods we're going to use to communicate and collaborate in this interface I'm in right here, using video, all I have to do is point down to where the chat box is here. Or I can snap my fingers. And to keep you interested, appear in another place, like beautiful Ohio University in the fall. Instead of telling you about what I like to do, I can show you a film of my 2015 mountain bike trip around Loch Ness. Or play you a track from my 2011 jazz trio recording. Instead of giving you a lecture, I can use narrative techniques to tell a story about the content I'm presenting. In this class, we will explore using principles of multimedia learning to cognitively reinforce key concepts. For example, if I want to present the key takeaways from this video, I don't list them all here and talk about them at the same time. This creates a situation where there's cognitive dissonance, where your brain is split between reading what's on the screen and hearing what I'm saying. So let's get rid of all this. Instead, I can best introduce learning by listing the takeaways as I say them on the video. So what I want you to consider before you film any video is, 1, ask yourself how you can use video techniques to help create engaging and effective video for learning. 2, if possible, show content in the video rather than just tell about it. 3, use stories and narrative techniques to engage your viewer. And 4, use multimedia to reinforce key concepts in a way that does not create cognitive overload. So thank you very much for watching my educational video. I look forward to seeing your productions as the course progresses. Please contact me with any questions and join me in Blackboard Collaborate in just a bit. Hello, welcome to the course Video for Learning. I'm Matt Dingo. I'll be your instructor this semester. This is the spring 2018 edition of this course, and I believe this is my 8th semester of teaching this course. It's been a little bit different every time. I tweak things based on the evaluation for my students. And what you just watched is usually how I start out our first class when we meet together. That's my first instructional video. And the setup is that when I recorded this video, we were using Blackboard Collaborate. So the TA would usually come in to start the class and say that she will be connecting the professor. She would play this video and the students would think I was in Blackboard Collaborate at first. That setup is not as effective now that we have switched to WebEx at James Madison University. So welcome to the course, and I may be the only one today who is disappointed that we didn't have class yesterday. I hope you guys were safe and warm, but I really like our first meeting session. It's a chance for me to get to know you. I have some interesting activities that we won't be able to do, and you are to get a learning partner that class. We're going to do some of that next week, and this recording today is going to go over the basics of what I do in class the first day. It won't be as fun, there won't be as many activities, I will drone on way too long, but there's important information here, so please bear with me. All right, my name is Matt Dingo. I'm your professor. I'm an instructional designer for Ohio University and a graduate of the JMU Educational Technology Master's Program. In fact, I have my alumni mug here that I'm drinking coffee out of right now. And I live in Pittsburgh and work remotely for Ohio University and teach online for James Madison. So I'm often working remotely between 3 different places, and that's sort of a fun position to be in. All right, in the first video that you watched to start out the recording today, I had some goals, and my goals for my first video was to introduce myself and also explain important considerations when creating video for learning. And I could get more discrete with these goals and list those important considerations. But I list these because it's important when we're doing instructional video to actually have goals, to have instructional goals. So my instructional goals might be for the students to learn something new about their professor, and the students to be able to explain important considerations when creating video for learning. All right, let's talk about this course. The basic goal of this course is to create instructional videos that don't suck. And we have a book that supports this course, How to Shoot Video That Doesn't Suck by Steve Stockman. It's a fantastic book. It's very easy to read, it's not expensive, and you will use it for some assignments. So please make sure that you have that book if you don't already. The person who wrote it, Steve Stockman, has had decades of experience in Hollywood, shooting commercials and videos for a long time, so his experience is much more poignant than mine, and he writes about it in a very accessible way. So I think you will enjoy that book. So if our goal is to create videos that don't suck, unfortunately, this course will suck. And this course will suck because it's a 1-credit course and less than half of a semester. It's in 3/8 of a semester. You're cramming all the work of this ambitious course into a short period of time. It might feel like a 2-credit-hour course because of the condensed time frame. And it may feel like more work because of the nature of creative projects. I can't tell you how long you will spend on a video because things happen that are out of your control. Sometimes you get very involved in creative projects and want things to be exactly right. So there's a varying amount of time that you might put into creating your main videos. In addition, educational media, the minor most of you are in, they've defined ambitious goals for this course. So I'm trying to get this all in 7 weeks. And I've designed this course to suck less by doing these things. I front load most of the formative content into the first 4 weeks. So a lot of that work and busy work and reading is going to be the first 4 weeks. The last 3 weeks will be more video production and spending time on some of the bigger projects. I try to allow ample time to produce the videos and announce all your main video projects, the big ones, which we'll talk about in a bit, a couple weeks in advance. I'm extending the deadline for your final projects to March 5th. That's the first day of spring break. So even though this course officially ends on the 27th, you have until March 5th to get in your final assignments. I'm establishing learning partners so that you may go to them for help. Video is not a solitary endeavor. If that were so, everyone would be making videos out of selfies, and selfies usually sort of suck. And we don't want to make video that sucks, so I'm giving the opportunity to meet each other in the first two classes. We won't have the first class, so in the second class, I'm going to give you a learning partner, and you can also look at people around you. You will need help to shoot videos. You will need actors. You'll need people to hold the camera, and it's good to use each other for that. Of course, if you have friends who will help you out, that's fine too, but I want the opportunity for you to work with your classmates if you need to. And the last thing I'm doing to make this course suck a little bit less is that I only have 4 synchronous meeting times scheduled. So there are some things you can do to make this course suck a little less, and that's read everything that I assign from the book. Like I said before, it's very valuable information in there and very accessible. Also, read every section in Canvas for each week. Most of this course is in Canvas. These recordings, our synchronous sessions, are just to support what's already in Canvas. Almost all the content and the assignments are in Canvas. So please read those. There's important information each week about some of the projects you're going to be doing and some of the assignments you have. So read the rubrics. The rubrics are in Canvas, but especially read the video rubric that's in the syllabus. That's going to be how I'm going to grade your 3 main video projects. Those 3 main video projects are the iMovie trailer, the video resume of your learning partner, and last, your instructional video. And that's a project you will define yourself. But that rubric that's attached to the syllabus tells you how I think about grading your videos. Take advantage of extra credit opportunities. Some of you did that for the beginning of the course already. Thank you. There will be more extra credit opportunities as the course progresses. Those will usually be in the announcements that you'll find extra credit opportunities. And the last thing you can do is communicate issues to the professor, me, before the deadlines expire. So I understand that lots of things can go wrong when working with technology, when working with video. For example, you could plan to shoot outside and you get rained out. If you communicate anything that holds you back before the deadline, I will be probably more accommodating than afterwards, and afterwards I will assess some sort of late penalties that are defined in the syllabus. All right, some important information about the course. We usually have 4 synchronous meetings. Because we missed yesterday, we will only have 3. And those are next week, January 24th, and then February 7th and 21st. The 24th, you guys will go to Memorial Hall 3245. I have that reserved for us. But February 7th and 21st, we're just going to use WebEx, and you can connect from the place of your choice. Attendance at these events is mandatory. There's a -8% off the entire course if you do not attend. You are late or you do not participate. So just having your name up there in WebEx is not sufficient to get attendance credit. For these, you have to participate in every activity, answer every question in the chat box that I give you, and I will go through after and make sure you do that. If it looks like you're not paying attention or you're not participating, I will take 8% off your grade. All right, grading. The rubrics and syllabus are in Canvas, but this is a digest of what we're going to be doing. There's 3 main video projects worth 135 points. These are the iMovie trailer, the video resume, and your instructional video project. There are 63 points in discussion boards, 105 points in different assignments, and you all start out with 100% in this class because I gave you 10 points for professionalism. Those points I'm able to change those if for any reason during the course you exhibit behavior that's not professional towards me or other students in the course or online in the discussion boards. There's a little bit more about that in the syllabus if you have any questions about that. If I'm going to take away professional points from you, I will email you and let you know why I've taken them away and how many I've taken away. Usually I do not have to do that, so just remember to be professional with the other students and myself, and you should be fine. All right, office hours and tech help. Obviously, I am not on campus, so that makes things a little more difficult, but with communication, we tend to work these out. If you want any tech help or office hours, I'd like you to email me. And I will check my email Monday through Friday twice a day at 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. On Saturday, I'm away from my keyboard, so I do not check email. And on Sunday, again, I'll start checking email, but not until noon and 8:30 p.m. You can make office hours, you can make an appointment with me through email. If you have a very urgent concern and you need to talk with me right away, please call my office phone number and leave a message. Those messages are forwarded to me through my email and as a text message 24/7. So if you leave a message, explain the situation, why you need to talk to me, and why it's urgent, I will call you back. So please leave your contact information. All right, tech help is sometimes difficult at a distance. So I have a procedure here that I'd like you to follow when you need some technical assistance. If you have any questions, I'd like you to talk to your learning partner first. By next week, hopefully we will all have learning partners that you can go to for help. Then, if your learning partner can't help you, I want you to go to the internet. And you have these great resources. Linda, there's a JMU subscription for you to that service. There's Izzy Video, there's YouTube, there's internet searches. If you don't find an answer there, feel free to contact me. And if I can't help you out right away, I will get Dr. Ingram, who's on campus, to meet with you and help you out. All right, learning partners. Obviously, we can't form those this week, but if you know someone in the course, you can contact anyone who you may know and ask to be a learning partner. If you don't know anybody in the course yet, I will facilitate you finding a learning partner next week. But if you do choose your own learning partner this week, if both parties could email me and identify that you already have a learning partner, that will be great, so I know who's working together. All right, video capture and editing. Basically, you can capture video and edit on almost anything that you have available to you, but the course only supports Mac applications and iOS. The reason why is I cannot feasibly understand every single piece of editing software and every single camera, so I can't provide support for everything. However, we know that there's a great deal of support out there on the web. Video can be captured on any device. If you have a phone, that's fantastic. You can use a phone. If you have a professional camera, that's fine. If you have a DSLR that has good video, that's great too. What I want you to do, though, is to use professional techniques, even if you use a consumer device. We'll talk a little bit more about that this week in Canvas. Video can be edited with any application except for the first assignment, which needs to be done in the iMovie, so you can do an iMovie trailer. So the Mac Lab in Memorial Hall has iMovie installed for an easy editing space. You can use that for your first assignment and continue to use it for other assignments if you wish. There are also iPads available in ETMC, that's Memorial Hall 7260. I'm not so sure how new these iPads are, so you may have better cameras on your phones. You'll want to check that out if you are considering taking an iPad out for shooting video. And YouTube. YouTube will be the way we submit links to each other in the discussion board and the way you submit links to your video to me. So if you don't have a YouTube account, follow the instructions in Canvas and create one. Okay, some important information about planning, shooting, and editing and hosting video. This course facilitates a lot of practice, and you will practice lighting before you shoot your main videos. You'll practice audio capture before you shoot your videos, and you should always practice right before you shoot your videos and make sure that these things are correct before you capture a lot of footage that may or may not be good. Then I want you to read my comments on your practice sessions and comments to others in the discussion board. For example, this first week you will do a lighting test, and you will all post those in the discussion board, and I will comment on those. My comments to other people may be relevant to your project or another project you're doing, so I encourage you to read those all. So when you post your lighting test to the discussion board, I'll let you know what's good or bad about how you lit that scene, and that's an indication of what you need to do to improve your lighting for your main video. I'd like you to collect tips from the pros. Pablo Picasso famously said, "Good artists copy, great artists steal." So I want you to steal as many techniques and tips as you can, and you're going to document that. After every video, the main videos you shoot, there will be a video tip sheet due. So after the iMovie trailer and video resume, you're going to list the things you've learned about shooting video that apply to that video you made. And these will come from the Steve Stockman book, from other sources on the web, from your students, or from me. When you go to shoot lots of footage. If you don't have 3 to 5 times the amount of minutes that you need, you don't have enough material to work with. You'll notice that most of what you shoot is throwaway, and you're looking for the best bits to put in your video. Also shoot scenes a couple different times, just in case someone stumbles over a word, or the angle you shoot at is a little bit different. You want to give yourself lots of options when you go to edit. All right, I usually do an activity at this point. Instead of typing in the chat box, I'd like you just to answer this question to yourself. Pause this video and think about where a movie is created, and answer that question. Jot down a couple answers, and when you're done, I will give you an example of where I think a movie is created. Okay, welcome back. When I ask students this question, there's a variety of answers, and none of them is particularly wrong. People say a movie is created in the mind of the producer. Sometimes people say a movie is created by the actors. Sometimes people say the movie is created in the editing studio, or and before the shoot in storyboards. Those aren't all wrong, but my answer to this would be a movie is created in the mind of a viewer. If we just look at the parts of a commercial, the parts of a movie, each scene, when they move from one scene to another, it's sort of logical. It's sort of like you're jumping in and out of time. For example, 2 people can be walking around the street and say, "See you this evening." Cut. We go to the next scene, and the same 2 people are on a street and it's dark out. You assume in your mind that it is that evening, not the evening after, not the evening before. So we're putting these things together in viewers in our mind. And our job as a videographer is then to create the conditions from which people can put together these stories in their mind. if your video is not effective, people will not be able to do that, and they will get confused about your message. So it's very important to tell a story. Instructional video is not just about presenting instruction. It's about creating the stimulating environment, the engaging environment from which the viewer can learn. So part of your grade for your main videos will be telling a story. Do you engage me in something that interests me, and something that I want to watch to the end? All right. This is another activity that we usually do in class, but I'll have you do this on your own. In Canvas, there is a link to an iMovie trailer example done by a student a few semesters ago. It's a particularly good iMovie trailer, so I'd like to watch that as an example. So if you could pause this, watch that, follow that link to YouTube, watch that video, and come back. We'll do something with this video when you return. All right, welcome back. Now I want you to watch the video one more time, and I want you to watch it from beginning to end I want you to watch it from beginning to 44 seconds without pausing or rewinding. And I want you to pay attention to two things. Without pausing or rewinding, tell me what the second title, the one after Laurel Ridge Films, says. And when you pause the video at 44 seconds, what's odd here? What does not work? So if you could do that and come back, we'll talk about this video when you return. All right, so thank you for watching the video till 44 seconds again. You probably noticed that second title is very hard to read because it happens so quickly. That's one small issue with this video. And when you pause the video at 44 seconds, there's some odd things in that shot, like someone's feet in the background, and some people have mentioned the next shot is not very consistent with it. These are things I didn't notice at first, and the reason why I didn't notice when I first watched this video is because we have a really good story in this video. So when odd things happen, when things change, like you'll see some bloopers from movies where people have different clothes on in the same shot, or something's a little bit different about the plates in front of them. You don't notice these things because our mind is busy putting that story together. If it's a good story, if it's engaging. If we're bored by that, we might be looking at the visuals and notice some of these things more often. All right, so let's talk about some of your assignments this week. Your first assignment is to create a 4-shot story for Saturday. This 4-shot story has a set of conditions. Usually I have you do this with a learning partner. If you find a learning partner this week, you can work on it together and turn in one video. Or if you can't find a learning partner, you can do this assignment on your own. But these are the conditions. You're going to have 4 shots. There's going to be no dialogue, no text or no audio. So you need to tell a story visually in 4 shots. You must use 1 wide, 1 medium, and 1 close shot. The camera in 1 shot must move. That's pan or zoom. And if you can use a digital zoom if you'd like. You can submit 1 video for a learning partner pair, or you can do this individually. And then on the 23rd, that's next Tuesday, you should respond in the discussion board to 2 classmates and write out what you think their story is about. All right, the other assignments for week 2. A 4-shot story is due on the 20th. Lighting test is due on the 23rd. A response to the 4-shot story is due on the 23rd. There's some links you have to find to videos or websites that help you with certain aspects of the video production and post-production process. I think this week you will be doing video editing and video lighting, so you will find some resources on the web that help you understand that and post them in these discussion boards. There's more information about that in Canvas. And you're going to start planning your iMovie trailer. That's not due until the following week on January 27th. The lighting test that's due is in relation to your iMovie trailer. So you want to pick the location or a location that you're going to film your iMovie trailer, and you're going to film a brief lighting test there and submit that in a discussion board. So just when you're creating your video, I want you to keep some things in mind, and these are for your 3 main video project. Students lose points under these conditions: when there's not a story being told, when I'm not engaged and interested in what's going to happen next, you're not telling a good story, when the lighting is not thought out. For example, if you shoot someone outside and the sun is behind that person, their face is probably going to be very dark, and if you just switch the camera to the other side and put yourself in between the sun and your subject, that will probably alleviate problems. However, it could cause the person to squint if they're in very blinding bright light. So lots of things to consider there. Students lose points when the audio is not checked, when you're not practicing getting an audio check at the beginning of the session, making sure it sounds good on your machine. Sometimes you might even want to take a card out of your camera, put it in the computer, upload it really quickly, and listen to it there to make sure that it sounds good, because sometimes earbuds can give you a skewed perspective on what the audio sounds like. You'll lose points when the audio is not mixed. You're not bringing those levels up when they need to be brought up. And you'll lose points when your edits look jerky and are not smooth. So those are some things to consider when you're making video. Thank you for bearing with this very long presentation, and please do not hesitate to contact me. And if you have any questions, enjoy the second week of class.